Hi guys, so today is the G7 summit and it's going to be interesting with this whole trade war that's been ignited by Donald Trump against the EU with tariffs on steel and aluminum, and obviously not just the EU but Canada and Mexico as well, the two neighboring countries on the north and south of the United States. While this is going on, however, and everyone's going to be focusing on the relationship between Donald Trump and the EU leaders, Mexico and Canada, there's another meeting taking place between between China, Russia, Iran, and India, which they're meeting this year for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Now, this report kind of sums it up quite well, with all eyes on the upcoming US North Korea leaders meeting. The weekend summit of a China-led regional security bloc has gone largely under the international radar. But when the annual Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit gets underway in the Chinese port city of Qingdao on Saturday, the leaders from the eight-member bloc are expected to address the big global issues, from the tensions on the Korean Peninsula to the Iran nuclear deal and US trade policies. Beijing will be looking to press a series of key cross-border matters, particularly the Belt and Road Initiative, which I need to do a bit more research on, and greater cooperation to combat the three evil forces of terrorism, extremism, and separatism. According to state-run Xinhua, drug trafficking and cybercrime are also on the agenda. But that's just what they're telling us is on the agenda. The fact that you've got four of the opposition nuclear powers in respect to opposition to the United States, the UK, France, Germany, that the Western side, you've now got this axis that has been forming over the last, well, it's been forming for years, but this year you're seeing a lot of communication between them, a lot of cooperation between them, China, Russia, Iran, India, even Turkey, getting involved. So there was a point in this report I wanted to read actually. Yes, here it is. So the SCO was set up in 2001 with six member countries: China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, don't know what that one is, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. It expanded to 8 last year with the admission of India and Pakistan. The bloc also has 4 observer states: Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran, and Mongolia, and 6 dialogue partners, including Turkey, a member of NATO. The Qingdao gathering coincides with the G7 summit in Canada, which is today, a group of 7 major advanced economies, 6 of which are NATO members. The SCO's role also has expanded over the years from regional security to political and economic cooperation, prompting critics to characterize it as a post-Cold War Eurasian counterbalance to NATO. And essentially, that's what it is. If you've got the G7 community on one side and you've got the SEO community on the other side, it makes sense. They're, counterbalancing each other with their different agendas, different interests. But it's interesting that their meetings are going to be occurring both today, where one has more international focus than the other. And I think that equal attention, if not more attention, should be paid to the meeting that is going on between China, Russia, Iran, and India. Particularly because all 4 of those countries are included in the IPEC Go video, and we are entering a time of incredibly high watch going into next week from June 12th to June 21st. Is really high watch time, so there's a lot to take in and a lot to keep our eyes on. And then, in line with the potential war coming after Ramadan is finished, which is on June 14th, the Russia, Jordan, and US talks on Syria's southern de-escalation zone have been cancelled. So the idea was for the participants of the meeting, they were supposed to be handing over control of Syria's southern de-escalation zone to the Syrian government and the Russian military police after local militants laid down their heavy weapons. However, that is not going to happen. So the militants haven't laid down their weapons. In fact, the opposite has happened. More militants have entered the area. The Syrian army has been building up. They dropped leaflets over in southern Syria saying, lay down your weapons and get out or die, basically. And the United States has warned not to attack those forces, and Syria has said they're going to. 70 tribes have backed it up, so it's all there and prepared. And this meeting was potentially one of the ways that it could have calmed down a little bit, de-escalated. However, that meeting is not going to take place anymore, so it's more than likely that the confrontation is definitely going to happen. So we'll keep our eyes on the G7. We'll keep our eyes on the SCO. Those are the two major meetings taking place today, involving pretty much all the countries that would be involved in a world war, each having their meetings on opposite sides. It's like the huddle before the game begins. So you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless.